One of the toughest problems to solve in our community, how to stop young teens from committing violent crimes.
Yeah, in an honest and frank conversation, the mother of a teen convicted of multiple armed robberies openly talks about how her efforts to change her son weren't enough, and she has a heartfelt message for his victims.
Natasha Robin has this special report, Slipping Through the Cracks.
That's me when he got his trophy at Willie Hall.
You look like you're proud there.
Yeah, very proud. Look at my baby. That's King. This is my baby.
Just seeing her youngest son's picture brings great joy to Rolanda Brown, but reality quickly sets in.
I'm gonna miss him. He just called, but he'll leave out tomorrow.
Her son, Keen Brown, is 16 years old, and he's a convicted armed robber. He'll spend the next 20 years of his life locked up at the Dixon Correctional Center in Jackson, Louisiana.
It is hard. It is hard. It's hard. Like, this is my child. I'm supposed to be raising my child. Not no correctional officers not supposed to be raising my child. He's not supposed to be in jail. He's supposed to be home going to school, playing sports. He's supposed to be doing what a child's supposed to do.
Rolanda says jail was the last place she imagined her son would end up.
When he was young, growing up, what kind of childhood did he have growing up?
Not a bad one, not a violent one, a good one. Keen ain't never saw nothing bad. You know, we have a loving family.
Well, I've been knowing Keen Brown since he was about 8 years old, coaching. He played Little League for me.
Larry Barabino, the former director of NORD, speaks highly of the boy he says everyone on the playground called Big Blue. Barabino was Keen's coach and mentor.
He was a big old, young, goofy kid, trip over the foot type kid that was known as Big Blue out here.
What kind of ball player was Keen Brown?
I think Keen Brown had the potential of being minimum a collegiate offensive lineman, defensive tackle, minimum.
In 2009, Keen's father was murdered. His mother says she could see a change in her son. Keen was only 9 years old.
He wouldn't eat. I have to go ask him, King, you all right? You want to eat? He don't talk. So I kind of gotta pull things out of him.
Rolanda says she enrolled Keen in a program to help him deal with his feelings. She says he was eventually diagnosed with ADHD and given medication. Meanwhile, his coach at the ballpark continued to play a role in Keen's life.
When Keen was out here at the playground with us, his mom would call. She would have troubles with Keen. She couldn't get to the school. She didn't have transportation. I would go to the school for Keen. I would have the teacher to call me in.
Barabino says Keen's behavioral problems started becoming even more evident when he aged out of the NORD program.
He'll get off the bus Friday and stay out Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I'm like, King, you gotta let me know where you are. He'll come home when it's school time to go to school.
One weekend at 4 o'clock in the morning, Rolanda says she got the call no mother wants to get.
They say, Miss Brown, this is a detective. I was like, oh my God, I grabbed my chest.
Keen was arrested at 14 years old, accused of committing an armed robbery spree with 2 other juveniles.
I never thought in a million years he was even hurting people. Never thought.
She says Keen is a follower, and despite her discipline, she believes he always tried to fit in.
I'm looking at him, I'm like, really, King? This the life you want to live? I said, because that wasn't our plans. Our plans was for you to finish school, go to 4-year college. He could play baseball, basketball, football.
She once again called on Keen's coach, Larry Barabino, for help. He was there and even spoke to the juvenile court judge on behalf of Keen.
When I saw him come in shackled, coming from the youth study center, all he could do is drop his head. All he could do is drop his head. And when I talked to him, I told him, I said, listen, I love you like a son. I've always treated him like a son. And I told him, I'm disappointed in you. I'm very disappointed because you know better. And he just sat there and said, Coach, I'm sorry. Coach, I'm sorry.
Keen pleaded guilty and was given credit for time served. He was released from the Youth Study Center on strict house arrest and wore an ankle monitor. Rolanda knew her son was getting a second chance.
what I wish they had a program. That's what we need to do. Once they come home out of jail, have some type of program to rehabilitate them. Don't just let them go.
She says Keene only wore the ankle monitor for a few months before it was removed, after Sheriff Marlon Gussman said he lacked funding to continue the program.
I didn't want that to happen.
When the ankle monitor was removed, she says Keene began to venture out again.
One day he was supposed to be going to the Chinese place to get me and him Chinese food. He never came back. Never came back. Then I get a phone call again. He's in jail with the same people.
Keene, now 16 years old, is convicted, this time as an adult, for 8 counts of armed robbery. He'll spend the next 20 years of his life behind bars.
I cry every day. I'm mentally, spiritually, physically, I'm broken. No mother don't want to see no child do 20 years. No mother want to see no child hurt nobody. That's just not my intentions.
I do know that Keen's mom went above and beyond to try to get him as much help as possible. I do know that she worked hard to help him. Unfortunately, when a young man gets to that age, those teenage years, listening to mom is sometimes a challenge. And that's when moms need help.
As a parent, I take full responsibility.
Rolanda believes there should be more programs available for at-risk teens.
I'm not here to like want to be super mom or nothing like that. This is about my son. This is about King. This is about our tribe. And I felt like the system failed us.
And for the victims, for the people,
I
because
apologize, and I'm sorry, because that wasn't no intention. And I know I didn't walk in your shoe. I know how you feel, and justice has been served. But I ask them to forgive me and my child.
Rolanda now hopes Keene will get the help he needs in jail through programs to rehabilitate him. She wants his story to serve as an example of what she says so many other mothers across New Orleans are dealing with as their teenage kids are slipping through the cracks. Natasha Robin, Fox 8 News.